Ntate Mvalo has been the DDG responsible for the oversight of those SETAs since 2017. And in trying to fix the problem, you appoint him and you rid the sector of corruption, fraud, and all acts of maladministration and the mismanagement of public funds. As part of your oath of office and your commitment to upholding your oath to maintain public trust, withdraw these appointments.
Actions which are not necessarily punitive on the one hand, but on the other hand, you are suggesting that we should exclude people from being considered as administrators when there's not been any judicial finding against them. I would deem that to be quite unfair.
Say that these people must be honest and accountable in dealing with public funds and use the state's property and other resources effectively, efficiently, and for authorized official purposes. It is on the basis of these provisions and all other logical sense that prevails that I argue to you, Minister, that people who are implicated in forensic reports that are of the same nature of the forensic reports that your own department have conducted and are using as reasons to either fire, either charge, or even put SETAs under administrations, that I am pleading with you. The reason why the final submission I want to make is the reason why I still don't buy your argument is if indeed, as you put it, forensic reports are not absolute and should just be taken as mere documents that exist for consideration, then your own department, you, DG, wouldn't be sitting with the 3 thick files in front of you right now. The 3 thick files that exist in front of you right now are there because they are detailing what forensic reports in your department have told you about what's happening in the LG SETA, services SETA, and the construction SETA.
Nothing.
Sure, I would do honestly.
Nothing.
Might be required to this portfolio committee.
Khakhau.
Thank you, Chairperson. Minister, I hope you're well. I'm not going to focus on the process or anything. Mine is specific because you would know that on the 19th of August, I wrote to you and you wrote back. And even though you've written back and indicated that you have sought the advice of the Public Service Commission, I still believe there's a lot that is in your hands that you can fix, that you don't need to rely to the PSC for. Particularly because it is my honest opinion that you are passing the buck of responsibility to the Public Service Commission, because it's easier for them to say yes or no, these appointments make sense, than it is for you to renege on your word and your commitment to your administrators. That's just my honest observation. But let's start here. In your and the DG's presentations and the responses you've given to members before this house today, you've made references to forensic reports that were done within your department. And you are of the firm view that you trust these forensic reports as reasons to implement their conclusions and as reasons to transform the sector as part of the reason why you've placed these SETAs under administration. If you, Minister Manamela, have 100% faith in the work of forensic reports and their advices, how do you justify then your inability to trust that forensic services company Comperio, as well as forensic services company Mara's work as far as detailing the acts of fraud, corruption, and the mismanagement of public funds, as far as Ndate Obangwane and as far as Ntatile Kgakonolo Masoga are concerned, do not hold water. How do you justify not trusting those particular forensic reports?
Thank you. Okay. I didn't say that the reports do not hold water. It is not my responsibility to, make judgment or adjudicate on those reports. And I believe that the people who have the responsibility to, take those reports to the latter, should do that or should have concluded that. I did not ignore the existence of the report. As I said, I presented them to the administrators and they've given their account. And I think if they are free to do so, to give their account to, in public, I think they're free to do so. And I think on the basis of those reports, are satisfied that the existence of the report will not interfere with their work as administrators in the SETAs. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the existence of forensic reports that we relied on to act is not absolute. So I'm not suggesting that because Treasury has conducted an investigation, therefore, the CEO of LG SETA is guilty of, whatever is being alleged, and or the members of the board. I don't think it is in my place to pass judgment as it relates to that. And I believe that the appointment of administrators, the intention is to facilitate the conclusion of the work that the forensic investigators have done, and so I think they need to be taken in that context. Our reliance was not on the existence of a report. Our reliance was on whether these people, are they criminal, are they competent, and so on and so forth.
I hear you, Minister. I'm poking a hole in the premise of your argument because I believe that there's reasonable doubt on whether your argument is sound or it makes sense or it's logical. The reason why I would beg that your submission is fallacious is because in your argument to say you have put SETAs under administration, you've pointed to multiple forensic reports. You've pointed out to Auditor General outcomes, which in their nature are also forensic to a certain extent. And you have pointed out to your observation or the ministry's observation of performance over a period of time. And therefore, in combination, you have judged that there is reason enough to want to intervene and correct what's wrong, which I don't have a problem with, fundamentally. However, if you are, in all honesty, going to sit before any human being or even this house and say that part of the reasons that have given you strength to put them under administration as part of your argument, then you are admitting that there is power in a forensic report. Because here's what you're saying. There's a forensic report that was done somewhere else in another sphere of government in two different other provinces, Limpopo and Gauteng. Just because the MECs of those respective departments that oversee the Makado Mosina Special Economic Zone in the sense of Ntate Masoga and the Kokta MEC of Gauteng in respect to Ntate Nkwane's work at Mfuleni, just because they haven't acted on those reports, you are saying it is not your responsibility to consider those forensic reports as alarming enough to deter you from appointing headhunted specifically individuals who are listed in these forensic reports. So for me, it makes absolutely no sense, Minister. You can't say there was weak oversight within the SETAs when Ndade Mvalo has been the DDG responsible for the oversight of those SETAs since 2017. And in trying to fix the problem, you appoint him as an administrator. That just makes absolutely no sense. Number two, you can't say there were irregular procurements generally within these SETAs, that it was normal for people to award contracts without following due processes within the SETAs, and that there were tender battles with the possibility of irregularity in procurements again, and say that millions of South Africans' rands were unaccounted for, and that there were forensic and audit findings that point out to a culture of mismanagement of public funds and administration, and also continue to say these administrators who too are listed in forensic reports that detail the irregular procurement you're talking about, that detail already the mismanagement of millions of rands that are unaccounted for, that you have already identified to be a problem where you want to take them, and still maintain that these administrators bring the necessary capacity and integrity, in your words, to hold these positions. So for me, Minister, because we could go on and you're going to exhaust all your reasons, my plea still remains. It still remains, Minister. If indeed your number one goal is to make sure that you clean house and you rid the sector of corruption, fraud, and all acts of maladministration and the mismanagements of public funds, as part of your oath of office and your commitment to upholding your oath to maintain public trust, withdraw these appointments. Withdraw them. Because now this is my earnest advice to you, because the Public Service and Commission is going to come back and say, yeah, these people have had enough years of experience within the sector. Yeah, these people hold the necessary qualifications within the sector, but it's still not going to deal with the fact of, yes, they're not in jail. Yes, they're not in court. But forensic reports still say. That is my absolute advice to you. Do you take that advice? Do you not?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I think the suggestion you're making is basically akin to the fact that putting in place accounting authorities is a punitive action, and that we are basically punishing the CEOs who are in the office. Yes, because so I have in receipt a report that was commissioned by Treasury, and on the basis of that report, action is taken not to punish the CEO of a local government SETA, for instance, but to put in place measures that will help us, correct the situation. So the action is not punitive. It's not based on an individual, because you're equating one process with another. You saying that we acted on the basis of forensic reports at the LG SETA, actions which are not necessarily punitive on the one hand, but on the other hand, you are suggesting that we should exclude people from being considered as administrators when there's not been any judicial finding against them. I would deem that to be, quite unfair, and I think getting that from, someone who belongs to the Democratic Alliance, a liberal political party, to suggest that we should not consider anybody on the basis that there are allegations against them. I think that it would be unfair, it would be unjust, and it would be unconstitutional. And what I want to emphasize is that we looked at what are the basic requirements of the law. We looked at what are the requirements of the specific SETAs, and we looked at the competences of the individuals at play, and we're quite confident that given their abilities, they have been able to. They will be able to turn around the situation. And I, would implore the committee and yourself, to make an assessment of the individual on the basis of the work that they've done. I also suppose the question of whether they are the right people for the job or not is not just merely about their confidence, but it's about how, public opinion sees them.
Hear you.
Thank you.
Minister, I submit to you again. Yes, you're correct that we're supposed to judge are they the right person for the job, the right people. I put it to you that they're not the right people for this job.
That's your opinion.
And so, and I hear you. And I'm just going to make one last submission in favor of this argument.
Okay.
Because I'm aware that you don't want to take it. And it's a shame. For me, it's unfortunate that you are being stubborn, for a lack of a better expression, on just that convincing of this idea. When you look at chapter 10 of the South African Constitution, section 195, subsections 1A and B, they speak specifically to public administration. A says that there are principles and values that are supposed to be followed, right? That principle A is that there must be a high standard of professional ethics that must be promoted and maintained by people who work in the public service and administration. Number 2, it says that there must be an efficient economic and effective use of resources that must be promoted. That's chapter 10. And in line with that, the regulations of the PSC, particularly section 14F, make specific reference to say that these people must be honest and accountable in dealing with public funds and use the state's property and other resources effectively, efficiently, and for authorized official purposes. It is of the basis of these provisions and all other logical sense that prevails that I argue to you, Minister, that people who are implicated in forensic reports that are of the same nature of the forensic reports that your own department have conducted and are using as reasons to either fire, either charge, or even put SETAs under administrations, that those people are in direct conflict with the provisions of this Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and the regulations that stem from it. And that I would rather have a case where the forensic report is challenged in court and nullified, and only then can we as a republic have faith that Ndate Masokh and Ndate Nkwane are not fit to hold office. And it is only after that we would also have faith that Ndate Mvalo, having presided over the mess that has culminated over the years that is the SETA's base, would be fit to hold office. So it's on the basis of that that I am pleading with you. The reason why the final submission I want to make is the reason why I still don't buy your argument is if indeed, as you put it, forensic reports are not absolute and should just be taken as mere documents that exist for consideration, then your own department, you, DG, wouldn't be sitting with the 3 thick files in front of you right now. The 3 thick files that exist in front of you right now are there because they are detailing what forensic reports in your department have told you about what's happening in the LG SETA services SETA and the construction SETA. And that is the guiding principle of what you are trying, of how you are trying to fix the system. So I'm never going to be under any circumstance be convinced, Minister, of any argument that says after you put the forensic report in front of them, you had your own cross-examination session to ask, is the forensic report true or not? Because anybody who's implicated in a forensic report is going to say, no, I'm not guilty, or no, the forensic report is lying, as is the case with the people who are implicated in forensic reports that you have in front of you that you are using as part of what correct. So for me, it's unfortunate, Minister, because for the first time, I would imagine I don't have a problem with your decision to put them under administration. As for the process, I'm neither here nor there. I'm focused specifically on the caliber of the people. You are wasting time of your office having to answer weird questions and unnecessary questions such as this, simply because of your choice to headhunt people. It's even worse. These people didn't go apply, Minister. They didn't go apply and then they were the best candidates that came out of the process. They were specifically headhunted, yet they're implicated. So I don't even know what to say to you, because I was hoping you would reason and reasonably understand why there's a fundamental problem with this. But I'm done, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Thank you, Chairperson. Firstly, let me firstly indicate that the institutions that the two individuals are referred to have committed misconduct in both Emfuleni municipality and the special economic zone in Limpopo, that the two individuals completed their tenure. The CEO of the SEZ and also as the administrator at Emfuleni. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that especially with regards to Emfuleni, and as I said, I think the individuals are free to disclose details as it relates to this. But importantly, that the forensic report that you indicate implicates Opankwana was a forensic report according to his account, which he initiated, the investigation which he initiated, and I can imagine a forensic report that you initiate, which then implicates you. I think the two, does not necessarily make any logic. The third point is that I'm not using forensic reports. I don't know what's in the DG's file. You seem to know. Because they're blue, maybe, you may know. But I think that we're not using any forensic report to punish any individuals. This is important. But you are suggesting that we should use forensic reports which are inconclusive to punish individuals by excluding them. Well, thank you for mentioning that section in the Constitution, and I think we're quite happy. You can call me stubborn or whatever, but the point is that we're quite happy if you come back and say to me that these individuals have contravened this section of the Constitution, this section of the Criminal Procedures Act, this section of the Public Service Act, and so on and so forth. And on the basis of that, then I'm willing to listen to you. And I'm quite. It's not stubbornness. If I believe that the facts that you're presenting are not persuasive enough for us to reconsider our decision. Also, I would have been very surprised if you came here and give me hugs and said you fully agree with the decision that we've taken. Otherwise, that would completely disarm what we call a very noble role that you play as a member of the opposition party.
Thank you very much, Chair. Look, from my side,